What's up, my friends and Wake Up Humans? Welcome to another Wake Up Humans podcast with yours truly, Dr. Drew Henderson. And we've got special guests who they're not freaking guests, man. This
Yeah.
is screw that shit. These guys are the boys, Eddie Martinez and Brian Lieberman. And let me tell you, man, they talk about seasons in life. And I feel like we just came through a cold winter and we're a
Mm.
week away from DE. And that's what we're preempting here to kick ass. This is going to come out this Monday and we'll be working our way into DE, boys. What's going on?
Not much, man. DE is October 23rd through the 26th, Atlanta, Georgia. If you want to expand your life, to grow your life, to grow your relationship, to grow your practice, there's no other place to be except DE. And like Brian and Eddie Martinez are not guests, they're brothers in arms. You know what I'm saying? We are a band of brothers, that's for sure.
Amen.
Amen. Love it.
Freaking
Yeah.
man.
It's it, man. We got an awesome program coming up.
LifeDE.com, right? Isn't that where
Yep.
everything's up?
Yep, lifede.com. You can click on the little button on the right and then go to DE meeting schedule. Man, it is off the hook. Let me tell you, it is off the hook.
I'm going there now. I want to take a look. I think we changed some stuff, didn't we? Oh,
We did.
Oh, that looks so good.
It's been a week, huh?
Made stuff look nicer. It pops.
Oh,
You know.
fantastic. That is so much better. I love the schedule.
The news from Katrine and the amount of people that have signed up is insane. People are excited. They're fired up. We ran out of space for vendors, she said. I don't know why we can't squeeze them somewhere. I mean, they're all trying to get in.
We're always pushing it to squeeze more.
But you know, and just so we're clear, it's not just any vendor. You're not going to see people talking about ketogenic BS. You're not going to see people talk about decompression and peptides or whatever the hot thing is right now. You're going to see people talking about the principle, chiropractic, how to see more people, how to serve the community. That's what we do at DE.
Amen.
A friggin' man.
Yeah.
And
it's about nuts and bolts and getting back to basics, and that's always what DE has been. It's not about what's the next wave and
what's trending,
what's going on, what's trendy. It's in the heart of a DE principled chiropractor. There's growth, there's family, there's relationships, and just being the best we can be to serve, and then everything comes to you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And you know, we could DE could make a whole lot more money if we would just take in some of these vendors, but it's not worth it. The spirit of DE is worth more than $1,000 table.
Right. Right.
You know, Cordero, when he first got the position at Sherman, and I remember like asking him, like, so what are you gonna do when I don't know, like one of the places that is in other schools, one of the sponsors, when they come, wanting to give you money, and you said, listen, here's what we got to do. We have to donate so much money that I can tell the board we don't need that money because it keeps us on. So, and I was like all in, and then I forget the total number that DE donated to Sherman while he was there, but it was an astronomical amount of money that made it easy for him to tell the board, hey, this is what we're doing. We're not selling out for a nickel.
Yep,
and right. Same thing at DE.
Yeah, and the men and women at DE stepped up
big time.
Made that happen.
Big time.
It's time to put the flag in the ground again, which we had to do way back when, and it was Band of Brothers, right? It was kind of like that was our rally cry and our battle call, and it's happening again.
Yeah, it's
how far we get.
We're not gonna, so listen, by the time this goes out, we're not gonna hammer home everything we're doing, but I mean, by the time this gets out, people are gonna know that we've all sent in our resignations to the ICA and our board and all the stuff, and we've been busting our chops, and that's not what this call's about. We'll get into that later, and we don't know what's going to transpire, but we all sent it in this morning. Like it was there's many reasons, guys, where we had to do this, and we've been fighting it for 4 years that we've held on. We're not going to explain it, but you're going to wait. You know, by the time they hear this, they're going to know it's happened, which it's already circulating.
Can I bring up the one, about the WT part of it? WTF, whatever it is, the WF.
So what the W2F?
Because that's public stuff, right? That we're still involved, that the ICA is still involved and won't, relinquish that involvement.
It's one of those things where we've been fighting for years. I mean, the RA bodies voted unanimously in the past, or almost unanimously, to get out of the WFC, and it's just been it's been a stupid fight. Like it doesn't add value to us. They try to say having a seat at the table, but yeah, and again, they won't get out. They won't make a claim to say we're out.
Listen, I had for me an epiphany today when I was actually telling somebody about it. We have been begging the ICA leadership to stop supporting something that we feel doesn't align with us on the principle and the direction of chiropractic and what the ICA should be.
Right.
We have now done exactly what we asked them to do. We have decided to remove ourselves from an organization that we don't feel is fully in a direction that we can align ourselves with. It came to me like that. We're doing what we've been asking them to do, begging them to do for years.
Yeah,
and you know what? At some point, if they might have taken a stand and said, you know what, they're anti-subluxation. They're trying to get subluxation out of everything, and had just had the wherewithal to stop sending them thousands and thousands of dollars a year to support our own demise. Well, we're just doing the same thing. We're putting our money or taking our money to where our mouth is. Like, I don't feel that organization, leadership wise, represents me well enough to keep sending them my money.
Or to show up at DE and get people fired up to join, which we did not long ago when they brought Dr. Cordero, which they're not giving him any room to do anything. So like, how do we show up at this DE and look everyone in the eye? And it's like, we've stayed in because we've said a long time, it's BJ's organization. It's what Dr. Sid built. We can't say that anymore. It doesn't represent them. Right now, the way it stands does not represent them. Now, by the time this comes out, if there's massive change and they want to say, all right, guys, come back in. What do you want to do? We'll let you take over because that's what's going to happen, or you could screw. DE is the movement. It always has to been. And now it's time for us to pour quadruple the amount of energy into it to blow it up.
I couldn't agree more. And I don't think it's an ego thing. And when you say take over, even if we had at least an equal voice. So I looked up 4 of the in the board type leadership position are DE people. About almost 20 of the, I think, 40 or 35 RAs are regular DE people. Like, and the amount of disrespect and lack of congruency and input that they gave us and let us have is absolutely but that's not the most important part, is that they're not following the principle. They're not doing things that keep this unsullied and pure. And that's just unacceptable to me and to us, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's not even, I mean, it is the chiropractic principle, but it's just being decent and honorable. Y'all know this, there was a RA election in Georgia, that there was explicit election fraud happening. I've been asking questions for 9 months, not a single answer. They're like, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. And it's unethical. It's not right. And anybody involved with that should have the wherewithal to be like, I'm going to step down. I messed up, but they don't.
No. And Dr. Welsh continues on. And so I filed the complaint too. After the, first they tried to bring in somebody who wasn't even a member long enough to even run. So then when the secretary, who happens to be Brian Moriarty, called out this issue, it was reversed, and then that person was removed, and I was still the RA. So when I said to them that I was upset about what happened, they said, well, you got the outcome. You want to be, that's not the problem.
Not the
The
point.
problem is the BS that goes on behind the scenes, the disrespect, the absolute blatant disregard for the rules and regulations, for the bylaws that they created. So I put in a formal complaint, and basically the answer I got was, we have talked to everybody involved, and it's been taken care of satisfactorily.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Good boy.
It was a one sentence answer. Besides, thank you for sending in your stuff, and they thought that that's going to be enough. And you haven't even really gotten, I don't think, that much from it.
I've got one response to that. They're going to send it to governor's committee, and then another response we'll get back to you soon, and that was January 22nd.
That's
You know,
awesome.
and-
You're obviously
yeah,
very
and-
important to them.
Yeah, and my questions were basic. Like the bylaws say, there are 2 levels of scrutiny, 2 layers of accountability to see who's eligible. 2 different people check that. Who were the people? What are their qualifications? Where did they drop the ball? And who told them not to pick the ball up? We know it was Stephen Welsh.
It's unfortunate. Stephen Welch is a brilliant man. And my only request was, and I put that in my complaint, was that he just shouldn't be in a leadership position. He'd be great working on Medicare. He'd be great working on other things. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. I have nothing. He's a great writer. He has incredible expertise in this, but that man should not be in leadership position at all in the ICA. And nobody wants to address that. And it's starting to take a toll on the ICA. And that's part of the reason, not the only reason, part of the reason that this group of people decided to leave the ICA.
Where are you
So-
at, Eddie? Good.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I think what Brian was saying, it's not about the outcome and saying like, well, you know, you got the spot anyways. It's about the process and accountability, you know, and they knew they screwed up, and they just you know, the responses wasn't good enough, Brian. I mean, it's just you know, at least they don't have to give you all the details, but at least give you some
Something.
kind of response. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, here's the great part about it, is that about 4 days after this comes out and about 12 days from now, we're going to be sitting together in Atlanta, just brainstorming, first of all, behind the scenes, brainstorming the next step, but then during the scenes, just absolutely pouring love into as many people as we can to just bring out the best in any person who's anywhere near our space, to just try to build people into better husbands, better, not that any of us are perfect and we all work on ourselves too. That's not part of this, but it's bringing Dr. Sid's principles to these people to give them a bigger why, to build them up, let them know that they are good enough and they can do this, that they're worthy of success and all those things. And we're going to spend, 4 days, 3.5 days, just in a group of people who just have no ulterior motives except to try to bring out the best in everybody. Everybody on this call and everybody in leadership in DE pays their own way to DE, pays their own hotel rooms. I have 4 hotel rooms this time because bringing 2 associates and staff, and I pay for every one of those. We're a 501c3. None of us get paid for doing this. My wife didn't get to have dinner. That's why you see me eating here. I finished up late in the office. And we don't get paid. This is a labor of love. This is Dr. Sid's work cannot go uncontinued.
Yeah.
And when we get up there and we talk, we principal chiropractors, what is your profession, right? The word principled is not strictly about chiropractic. It's about your life. And I had many people call me today, like, why are you doing this? What's happening? I said, it's about principle. And there's many things that have happened behind closed doors that my hands are tied that I can't talk about, right? That is unprincipled, unethical, especially with close friends of mine. And once you do that and you start going after family, you lost me. I'm not going to live a lie. So when we come into that room, when we show up at DE, when I talk about being principled chiropractors, what is your profession? What is our freaking profession? What are we professing and what do we do? And how are we going to do it better moving forward after that weekend? To promote principled chiropractic, pure, unadulterated, detected correct subluxation. Otherwise, it ain't chiropractic. That we don't need to, again, and I have a hard time. I just commented on a shockwave thing at a kid's office that he had me come speak at his philosophy event, and the guy's selling shockwave bullshit. It pisses me off. But I got to get away from that, and we got to pour the energy into promoting what we do, and let's out noise them to educate humans on getting adjusted, period.
And I think it's a good point that we should make, because some people think that it's and I think the important part about DE is that we have a strong belief that the leadership at DE should be extremely principled. Everybody is welcome.
Yeah.
I always say it's like church. You know, the drug dealers, I'm not trying to pick out anybody, but people who aren't, you know, following maybe what most people would think would be the perfect path are always welcome to come in and try to get closer to God. But the people who are up professing about God should be held to a higher standard than the rest. And that's where we are with D. We're not out here to bash on you what you're doing. We hope we'll shine a light so bright that you'll realize that maybe what you're doing could be detrimental to chiropractic, could be detrimental long run for your own practice, could be detrimental to your mental health at some point. You could be chasing the next shiny thing. Always. I'm so thankful I don't sell anything, because the next new vitamin is always better than the last vitamin. It's like, oh, I've been trying to sell you this one. Well, this company's much, much better than this one. Or, you know, it was Shockwave. And I'll be honest, I have people who have bad low backs and discs. I'll send them out for decompression. I'm not afraid. Like, let me keep your nervous system clear. But these joints that you destroyed for years and years might need some help. I just don't do that in my office. I choose not to do that in my office.
Yeah, we keep, you know, I think we keep the message out of a lot of groups in the profession right now, or there are events or stuff like that, things going on. I think we keep it as pure as anyone up on the stage. And, you know, there's people, you know, people going through different seasons and stuff like that, or different things. But I think the common denominator is we keep that message pure. And like you said, Brian, it's like church. You know, when you go to a church, the pastor, whoever's up on the altar, is not going to change his message, but everybody is welcome in that room.
Right.
Message. So I was talking about that yesterday with Araceli. We were going for a walk and we were talking about that. So yeah.
I find it so.
I'm bringing the whole office this time. I haven't brought my staff in a few DE meetings. Bringing my new associate and my staff. So you know, I'm excited. You know,
awesome. Yeah, I'm bringing my new associate. It's my daughter, so I'm pretty excited as well. Not that she's been, but yeah, it's great. You know, I love when, you know, you bring your staff and then you realize how much they do miss when they're not there. And I know it's tough for everybody to bring every time, and you know, we don't even. But you know, I always put out there, you know, at least once a year, bring your staff with you. Bring your associate with you, or whoever it is. The associate maybe every time, but if you need to keep the office, everybody's at a different place in their life. I've closed our office down Thursday, you know, after Thursday, for years. It's just part of what I do, but that just works for me. You know, some people need to let their associates stay open, because that's where they're at in their journey, and that's whatever it is. But you know, at least once a year, you got to make sure they're plugged in with you.
You know what might be a good thing for us to get on in the future is we pick that one time a year that we all bring all our together.
Yep.
Steve, what a great idea to increase the energy of the CAs by not having, you know, 25 at this meeting and 25 at that, but having 100 at one meeting. And like October is the meeting. I know it's kind of cool. I was just talking to Jay Corson, who a lot of people know, what a great chiropractor up north. And him and one of his classmates that he graduated with decided that every October they're going to meet at DE so that they can stay connected together, but also connected to DE. And I'm like, you know, as much as I would say, you know, come every time, I at least love that that's one way where they can stay connected to both things and just have a, like you're saying, just bring the energy together. I think it's a great idea.
A great place to get connected, and it's be connected with everybody there, but also people you haven't seen in a while and come together. And I'm glad that they picked that DE to come and do that. That's awesome.
Let's think about this meeting going into it, because people will get this, and all our DE people listen to this now, and the energy and the mindset and the outcome we're looking for on this October meeting.
Growth, right? Like, we talk about just what's holding you back, basically, like what is it that you gotta come through? Am I correct? Would you agree? I know we talked about that. I'm not sure. I remember saying very much, because you had grabbed the mic and last time, and it was pretty powerful, just asking, what's holding you back? And we all have shit holding us back. It just I always say that we're just at different levels of being held back,
Yeah.
My held back just looks a lot better than other people's held back, but they're still like, we're still figuring this crap out,
Yeah. And I would say we're going to do that again. I mean, a lot of, people, and Dana Bexter's big on it. So we'll do it again. And I think Friday night will be the night. So, I mean, anyone that's ready to grow and come through something and share, be ready to step up and be humble, but honest, and then have a room love on you to help crack you open. Cause it sounded like a lot of people were benefiting from it. So we'll do whatever we got to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Lieberman, like you were saying about, if you're not where you want to be, if you are doing machines and shockwave and everything, we still welcome you. Jim Sigafus, he was a big mixer. He came to DE. He heard the message, went home, burned his gowns, threw his equipment down a stairwell, and you can have your Sigafus moment if you come to DE, and you can flip it around like that.
And I don't mind.
You can have that moment.
I don't mind saying, about 15 years ago. So I've been DE for 33 years now. About 15 years ago, my new associate, remember John, he wanted to go to like a Body by God back then, whatever. So I was reluctant, but then, okay, let's do it. And I started doing that like off the wall traction, like those little things, and like maybe like 25% of my patients would do it. And I was speaking at DE. I had started it maybe like 2-3 months before DE, maybe right after last DE or something. And I'm up there speaking. I get off the stage, and Joe Accurso pulls me aside. He's like, "Let's go for a walk." And I'm like, "I'm either never coming back, or this is going to be awesome." And we started walking. He said, "What'd you think of your talk?" And I was like, I thought it was pretty good. I thought I did okay. He said, "Could have been better." And I said, "Tell me how." And he said, "You don't need that traction crap or something." He said something about, and I'm so glad it was him, because if anybody knows him, he speaks it. It's like, oh, okay. And I said, before I touch anybody, it'll be gone. So Monday morning before I get in, I threw every one of it out. It was in like a hallway, and there was double doors that opened. So I just closed and locked the doors. Not one person asked. One person was supposed to start, like they would start like after their third or fourth visit. One person was supposed to start that day, and she said, "Am I supposed to go do that traction?" I said, "Oh, I was at a conference this week, and I heard that stuff isn't good for you." She's like, "Oh, okay." And that was the end of it. Like, not one other person who had been doing it asked, like, "Hey, do I still need to do this?" The door was locked. They just stopped and kept getting adjusted and going forward. So I even had a moment from DE where I was like, "Oh, slipping, check it,"
Yeah.
and so it can happen anytime. But like you said, Drew, everybody's welcome. And even if you can't change, if you can become a better human being and a better servant, even with you doing, then we've done good work still. And just keep showing up, and you'll be welcomed in.
That's right. That's right.
Closing thought.
Keep showing up, and that light bulb will come on. You'll catch it.
Amen.
Might not happen the first time. Some people walk in and say, "Oh, these guys are a bunch of freaks," But you keep coming in, it's going to hit you. It'll hit you in the gut or hit you in the heart or whatever. But it's going to hit you. So, yeah.
True.
That's it. I mean, nothing's bigger than life. It's behind the stage. It's been there for 61 years. Nothing's bigger than life. And if you want to live bigger life, you got to get to DE.
Amen. Right.
I never wanted to, talked about this all the time. I never wanted to speak at DE. I wanted to raise my kids there, and just having my kids, 50%, half of them, decided that they wanted to become a chiropractor, and to get to sit and do Dr. Sid's breaths in the morning next to my daughter and Dr. Rebecca, and hear me 25, 28 years ago, is something so special. And if you ever wonder why I have an allegiance to Dr. Sid and DE, and to even Life U, for where Dr. Sid put that, that is one of the biggest reasons. Just never pushing, just being dipped. So she, being in the back of the room, took a while, but then she got it. So it could be the same for you.
Amen. So I'll close it out, guys, with this. And Lieberman hit the nail on the head with that rant that he went on. And I'm going to ask you, Michelle, to cut that rant out, and let's put that everywhere, because that's the message. When he says, essentially he's telling you, we're trying to protect you. We've been around long enough to know that when you get to those shiny things, there comes a point where it's not new and shiny anymore. Insurance stops paying for it. People stop paying for it. Technology changes, and they're trying to upsell you to the next 90 grand thing, and the money's not there. So you've brought on this lifestyle with a lie, and you've hurt yourself down the road. You made a quick buck, which usually gets spent fast. We've seen it through the years with all the juices and the TENS units and the new cold, hot wave, short wave, blow me wave, all this stuff that at the end of the day, you'll get hurt. And we've seen many guys go bankrupt, end up divorced, and very sad. So we're here to help you. We're here to invite you to come to DE. We're not going to bash you. No one's going to love you more than us. And just open your heart to the possibility that it could be done simpler, with more faith, and on principle. We love and appreciate you. We're going to have you guys back on in 2 weeks post DE, and that should be a very interesting call. Love you guys.
Be great. Thank y'all. Love you.